Hello everyone, welcome back to another day of learning. This is reading class. I'm Mrs. Kinman, your reading teacher, and I've got a quote here to start our 5th lesson for our summer learning. It might sound familiar to you. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Does that sound familiar? Do you know what book that's from? It's a quote from Dr. Seuss. He is said to be one of the greatest reading teachers of all time. Did you know that? Because he has encouraged so many people to read. I love Dr. Seuss. All right, let's get started. This is what you can expect from our lesson today. We're going to, of course, start off by focusing on our mindset. Then we are going to get busy with some word work. We will have some fluency practice, and then we'll get into our reading comprehension skill. We are still working with nonfiction text, and today we are going to focus on using text evidence to help answer questions about the text. And then, of course, we'll wrap up with a check for understanding. All right, so let's get started by thinking about those learning gems. What are some of the things that you can think about along with me today? All right, what am I grateful for? I am grateful today because yesterday my son made us some banana bread, and that was just really thoughtful of him, and I was really grateful for that. I am excited today because in this lesson we are going to be like detectives, where we're really going to be reading closely and using clues to help us find what we need, and I love whenever I get to pretend like I'm a detective. I think it's fun. What are you motivated to do? I am motivated to read a new book. I wanted to show it to you. I brought it with me today. Now, we are not going to be reading this book. It's not part of our lesson, but I just wanted to share with you because your teacher, maybe this year or maybe last year, maybe they read to you a very popular book called The One and Only Ivan. I've read it to my class every year for years now. Have you ever heard of it? If not, you should definitely check it out. It's by Catherine Applegate. And finally, after all these years, she came out with a sequel. So this has been much anticipated. And of course, The One and Only Ivan is about a big gorilla named Ivan. And you know that his little friend is the little dog named Bob. And this book is called The One and Only Bob. And so I'm really motivated to get started reading this because I've been looking forward to it coming out for so long. The One and Only Ivan, I think, is going to be turned into a movie. So it's definitely worth checking out if you have not yet. And a success that I can celebrate is that I'm not always very good with troubleshooting technology, but I did fix my printer at home this week, and I was pretty proud of that. Definitely a success because I needed to print something. So reflect on your own learning gems, and let's focus our mindset. We are going to look at those 8 points of whole body listening to make sure that we are ready to listen and ready to learn today. So let's make sure that your eyes are looking toward the speaker, that your ears are ready to hear. In order for those ears to be ready to hear, your mouth is quiet, so you're waiting for your turn to talk. Your hands and feet are quiet and to yourself. Your body is facing toward the speaker, so I hope you're facing towards me, just like I'm facing towards you. And your brain is thinking about what's being said and what we're talking about here today, and your heart is open and just ready to learn. All right, let's get started. Today we are going to be looking at 2 syllable patterns for our word work, and I think these are 2 of the most important syllable patterns for 3rd grade readers because it really is going to help you decode some challenging words as you're reading. All right, the first one is the VCE syllable pattern, and VCE stands for vowel plus a consonant and then an E. Now, when a vowel and an E are separated by a single consonant, the first vowel makes the letters long vowel sound and the E is silent. You might have learned this in a younger grade as the magic E. Okay, that might sound familiar to you. So what are those long vowel sounds that we might hear? A review. There are 26 letters in the alphabet, and of those 26 letters, 5 of them are vowels. A, E, I, O, and U. So when you see the vowel, consonant plus E pattern, you know that that vowel is going to say its own name, and then the E is silent. So the A will say A, the E will say E, The I will say I, the O will say O, and the U will say U. Now, you might be thinking, Mrs. Kinman, what about Y? You kind of learned that chant in primary grades, right? That vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. Let's talk about that really quickly. Y is not a vowel, it is a consonant. However, sometimes it has a vowel sound, and that's why we say sometimes Y. Let me show you an example. In the word sky, the Y makes a long I sound. So it is a consonant, but it's making a vowel sound. But when we're thinking in terms of this syllable pattern, we do not include Y. So we're just focusing on the 5 vowels that I'm showing you here, okay? So let's look at some examples. This word here is kite. We have an initial consonant and then a vowel, consonant, plus an E. That E makes the I say its name, and then that E is silent. So that word is kite. This word is hope. Do you hear the long O in hope? This word is seen. The SC is a blend. We can hear the E, seen, and then the E on the end is silent. All right, so a vowel plus a consonant and a silent E on the end. Are you ready to practice some words? Let's see if you can read these. What is that word? Wake. Do you hear the A? Wake. Good. What word is that? Whale. The WH goes together. It's a blend. It makes one sound. W-ale. Silent E. Whale. Very good. Hare. Like a rabbit. Hare. What's that word? Skate. The SK is a blend. You can hear the long A T at the end because that's a silent E. Skate. Good job. Last one here. This one has the long I sound. Slice. Excellent. All right, the next syllable pattern that we're going to look at is CLE, and that is when you have a consonant plus an LE. This syllable pattern or rule is a final syllable, meaning this is only found at the end of a word, and it contains a consonant plus an LE. Let's look at some examples. Bubble. Now, that word has 2 syllables, bub, bull. So we've got the consonant plus LE. It has an ul sound at the end. This word is circle. This word is jungle. Now, you might be a little bit confused right now and think, Mrs. Kinman, the words that you had on the previous screen also ended in E. How do I know if that's a silent E or if it's one of like what I just pronounced here? So let's look at those words again. What is the difference that you notice about the letters at the end of these words? Remember, these words have a vowel, a consonant, and then an E. These words in that last syllable have a consonant and an LE. So you have to look and see, is it an LE or is it just an E, and is there a consonant and vowel just before it? All right? This is another important thing to keep in mind when we're looking at syllables. The first syllable, if that syllable ends in a vowel, it's open. And the vowel sound is a long sound, like those long sounds that we just talked about. The vowel says its name. For example, the word bugle. You hear the U in bugle. If that syllable, like the first syllable here, ends in a consonant, for example, this is ending in an N, then that syllable is closed, and then this vowel is a short sound. Candle. It still has the same ul at the end, but that first syllable can be either open or closed, and that's how you know whether to use a long vowel sound or a short vowel sound. Okay? So now I want you to practice some. What word is this? Candle. Good. Humble. Excellent. Trample. Good. Candle. Last word here. This word is tackle. Good work. Now, here's our fluency passage for today. As you can notice, I have highlighted some words that fall in with those syllable patterns that we just worked on. Let's look at those first. Here we have a vowel, a consonant, and an E. Now, we're going to look at the S separately. That just means that the word is plural, meaning more than one. So let's just look at the word there. The E is going to make the I say its name because we have a vowel, consonant, vowel. That word is mile or miles because it is plural. Here I know the A is going to say its name because I have a vowel, consonant, plus E. This word is place. What's this word? Long I, lines. How about this word? It's going to have a long A sound and a silent E, make. Excellent. Now I see another word with an LE at the end with a consonant in front of it. This word is example, okay? So kind of focus on those words when we're doing this first read. So this fluency practice is about map tools. That's one of the nonfiction text features that we've been working on. This is our first read, so we're going to go kind of slowly. Remember, you're working on reading smoothly and accurately. Are you ready? Let's begin. Maps help us find places when we travel. They show us how many miles one place is from another place. They show us how land areas look from above. Markings on a map stand for real places in the world. Many maps have a tool called a key. The key tells us what the markings on the map mean. For example, blue lines may show rivers. Reading a map may seem difficult, but a map's tools make it easier to use. How did you do? I hope that you read really fluently. Nice work. All right, so our comprehension skill that we're working on today is using text features and keywords to find evidence in the text. We know from our lessons last week that reading nonfiction text is like accessing your brain's filing cabinet. And you're going to find that file or that topic in your brain, and you're going to think about what you already know, and then you're going to take in the new information and add to it. We know that we're going to focus our thinking voice on main idea and key details to help us really understand that topic that we're learning about. As always, we want to eliminate the distracting voice. We've already gotten in the mindset for learning, and we're just going to stay focused. All right, so remember I said that when we're looking for text evidence, it's like we're detectives looking for clues. Let's listen to this quick video about how you can look for evidence in a text.
How can you find the answer to an open-ended question in text? For example, we have this question to answer for our text, and we've turned it into an I need to statement. I need to find out what, over a period of time, forced the colonists to write the Declaration of Independence. Yeah, but how do I find that information in the text? In this lesson, you will learn to find evidence for your answers by using text features and clue words. Let's review the process for answering a question like this. First, there's understanding the question, then finding the evidence, making a plan, writing the sentences, and revising. And we're right here on this step, finding the evidence. What is evidence anyway? Evidence is just information you find in the text that will help support your answer. A common mistake is to stop skimming when you find a little evidence. Now you might think, aha, I found some evidence, I'm done. But what you really should be thinking is, wait, is there more? Because a great answer will include all evidence. Here are the steps we'll take today. First, look at text features to find a starting point. Second, use clues in the text. And third, find all evidence. Let's get started. We're going to look at text features to find a starting point. Here are the first 2 pages of our text, and the first thing I want you to notice is that this text has section headers. I've just highlighted one there on page 2 in green. These headers help us know what comes after them, and so they should be really great clues as to where our evidence would be found. Now notice these 3 paragraphs don't have a section header. That's because they're probably an introduction and don't contain that hardcore evidence we're looking for. So let's look over here where it says the Continental Congress and ask ourselves, does that have anything to do with our question? Not really. Not that I know of. Our question is about what forced them to write the Declaration of Independence. So let's move on. The next section is called Writing the Declaration. Okay, this might have something because that's what our question is about. So we're going to now use clues in the text to try to find our evidence. We're going to make that bigger, and we're going to read this first part. After this, the colonies were sure that the only way forward was to gain their independence from Britain. That's exactly it. That's what we're looking for. We wanted to know what forced them to move forward and gain their independence. However, there are 2 little words here after this that tell me that the information we're looking for actually came before this paragraph. So doggone it, we got to look back. All right, we go back and we're going to look and try to find all the evidence in this section. And we go back to the Continental Congress and we start to skim or move our eyes across the words to find something. So I move quickly along and there's nothing in the beginning, but down here I see it says, for years the colonies had been displeased with the way the British had forced them to follow laws they didn't approve. That sounds like something that would force them to write the Declaration. Let's make that bigger. Okay, this is that part that we just read, and I think that's important. Let's keep skimming. I see down here taxation without representation, and it says that was an important issue to the colonies. Okay, looks like more evidence, and down here it explains what that means, that the British taxed many goods, but that the colonies couldn't do anything about it. I think that would force them to write the Declaration. Great. We've got some good evidence, but we cannot stop. We have to continue to find all evidence. So let's look at the next paragraph, which is on the top of the next page. Here it is, and we're going to make that bigger and read a little. In 1775, the Continental Congress sent a petition to the British King. Well, that doesn't sound like it would force him to write the Declaration, but let's read on. It tells a little bit about it, but down here at the bottom it says the king ignored the petition. Oh wow, I bet that made them really mad. I think that's enough to make them finally be forced to write the Declaration of Independence. So yeah, I think we found what happened over time and what finally forced them to write the Declaration of Independence. Let's review how we did that. First, look at text features to find a starting point. Second, use clues in the text. And third, find all evidence. In this lesson, you have learned to find evidence for your answers by using text features and clue words.
All right, that was pretty impressive, wasn't it? We saw how they used text evidence. They used things that we've been talking about, like nonfiction text features and keywords to help them find that evidence. So now let's practice together. We have an article here, a nonfiction article called Helpful Honeybees. And we're going to see if we can find the proof or the evidence that we need to answer some questions. The first thing that we're going to do is look and see. I don't see a lot of nonfiction text features other than a title, okay? So we're just going to read the article together, and then we are going to look at some comprehension questions. Are you ready? Let's read. Bees are insects that live all over the world, with the exception of Antarctica. There are more than 20,000 different types. People started keeping bees for their honey at least 4,000 years ago. The honeybee is the only insect that produces food that is eaten by people. Today, beekeepers raise honeybees for their delicious honey and also for the beeswax that they make. Beeswax can be used to make candles. Bees get all of their food from flowers. The flowers hold a sweet liquid called nectar. They also contain pollen. Pollen is small like pieces of dust. A honeybee visits around 100 flowers during one collection trip. While bees are buzzing around from flower to flower, gathering pollen to take back to their hive, they spill some of it along the way. That is actually a very good thing. When the bees drop the pollen from one flower onto another, it allows the flower to make seeds. Those seeds can then grow to make new flowers. That means bees are very important to keep our environment in balance. All right, let's look at some questions and see if we can find evidence in the text to help support our answer. So the first question is, who raises honeybees for their honey and beeswax? I remember reading that. Do you? It says up here that beekeepers raise honeybees for their delicious honey and also for the beeswax. Is that the evidence that we need? Yes, it is. So I could answer this question by saying beekeepers raise honeybees for their honey and beeswax. See, we don't have to rely on our memory after we read something one time. We can always look back to the text to find the evidence. Let's try another question. What is the sweet liquid in a flower called? Right here in this sentence, the flowers hold a sweet liquid called nectar. It's right there in the text. I just had to be a detective and go back and find it. So I would answer this question. The sweet liquid in a flower is called nectar. Let's try another one. When did people first start keeping bees for their honey? Which paragraph was that in? That was in the first paragraph. Let's see. People started keeping bees for their honey at least 4,000 years ago. There's our evidence. It's right there in the text to help us. People first started keeping bees for their honey at least 4,000 years ago. All right, one more question. Why are bees important to our environment? This question is a little bit more challenging. And what I mean by that is it's not something where I can just put my finger on it and say the answer is right there. That doesn't mean that there's no text evidence. That just means I have to think a little more to make sure I get all the evidence, just like our instructional video told us. In this part of the second paragraph, it talks about the bees buzzing around from flower to flower, gathering pollen, and they spill it along the way, and that it's a good thing. Well, if something is important to our environment, I'm thinking that's a good thing, right? When they drop the pollen, it allows the flower to make seeds, and then that grows to make new flowers. So that's how I'd answer the question. Bees are important to our environment because they spill pollen and drop it on flowers. This allows flowers to make seeds, which can then grow to make new flowers. See how we use the text evidence to help us answer the question? Awesome work. Okay, let's do a little quick check for understanding. You're very familiar with your finger responses now, so get your fist ready. Are you ready? Which of the following can help us find evidence in a nonfiction text? A, text features, B, keywords, C, section headings, or D, all of the above. Ready? 1, 2, 3, respond. You should be holding up 4 fingers. The answer is D. All of those things can help us find evidence in nonfiction text. Okay, here's another one. Evidence is information you find in the text that will help support your answer. Is that A, true, or B, false? Ready? 1, 2, 3, respond. That is true. Evidence is information that you find in the text that helps support your answer. Awesome work. All right, for your practice at home, you are going to be looking at an article about hibernating bears. Remember, we're working with nonfiction text. When we answer questions about the text, we use evidence to support our answers. So you are going to read this article about hibernating bears, and then you're going to use evidence from the text as you answer these 5 questions. And I would love if you wrote in complete sentences, just like we talked about today. Whenever we were answering those questions about honeybees, did you notice they were complete sentences? Yes, they were, and I know you can do that too. All right, excellent work today. I love to learn, and I love to learn with you. Today's code word is honeybee, okay? So I hope that you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.